with who's Allah is following, a person who's following His good pleasure, so that Allah becomes razi, that Allah is pleased. His aim is this, that he should please Allah. He's taking a distance for Islam to peace, and he knows that Allah will be pleased. At the same time, I'll attain peace. He will be pleased. I'll attain Islam, peace. And what Allah says, He takes them out from the darkness towards the light with His permission. What is darkness and what is light? In a simple language, you see, there are explanation. We must understand that we sometimes, Allah says simple words to explain a very depth meaning, but it is very understandable. We are all, I am standing in a light. I can see you, you can see me, and we are in light. But suppose this light goes off, it's pitch dark. Can we see each other? No. Similarly, what is the truth and reality, if we do not know from the Quranic ayahs, where are you? Darkness. Believe me, you are as dark as if the lights goes off here, you can't see anybody. So in life, you do not know how to take decisions in life. Judgments you have to make in every aspect of life. You are in darkness. Complete darkness. How can a blind man fight? Can a blind man fight with a man who can see? A person in the dark doesn't know. So you must understand that when Allah says He takes them out of darkness into light. Meaning, if you come to know the essence of the message of Allah's ayahs, the essence, you are coming out. You can see now things. Things are seen to you. You can see the things clearly. Before you were in darkness. You can't see nothing. So now you can see. So when you can see and you can analyze, that is coming from this, in the psychology, the spiritual understanding of life, where you have to make judgments to attain peace. This is how you take decisions. So Allah says, Allah shows you who follows His good pleasure, any person who follows His good pleasure to the ways of Islam, salam, peace, He takes them out from darkness towards light with His permission. With the permission of Allah. And then again the last portion, وَيَهْدِيهِمْ إِلَى صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ, and He guides them towards the straight path. Again, we are asking 5 times a day, اِهْدِنَا الصِّرَاطَ الْمُسْتَقِيمِ, guide us onto the straight path. And again in the ayah ends with, and He guides them towards the straight path. Who? The people who are following, who are keeping in their mind that they have to please Allah. Now when Allah guides the people to the ways of Islam, means that we know the governing ayahs and we know the essence of, we try to implement them. What happens? How a person feels when Allah is guiding? What is inner feelings? And who is not getting guidance, what is inner feelings? The feelings of the one who is being guided by Allah, who are taking the guidance from Allah, and the one who is not taking guidance, how the inner feelings are described by Allah in Surah Al-An'am 6 in 125 ayah. فَمَنْ يُرِدِ اللَّهُ أَنْ يَهْدِيَهُ يَشْرَحْ صَدْرَهُ لِلْإِسْلَامِ وَمَنْ يُرِدْ أَنْ يُضِلَّهُ يَجْعَلْ صَدْرَهُ ضَيِّقًا حَرَجًا كَأَنَّمَا يَصَّعَّدُ فِي السَّمَاءِ كَذَلِكَ يَجْعَلُ اللَّهُ الرِّجْسَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ. Then to whom Allah intends to give him guidance, He opens his chest for Islam to attain peace. And to whom He intends to astray, He makes his chest confined, difficult, as if he ascends in the sky. Likewise, Allah puts dirt over those who do not believe. Now, Allah has described in a, again, you see, we have to read the ayahs and we have to think. Then to whom Allah intends to give him guidance, He opens his chest for Islam. Now this, He opens his chest for Islam to attain peace. What you must understand, how I told you again and again, I'm repeating, if you will take decisions, you will take judgments on the governing ayats. by implementing them in life, your chest will be open for Islam to attain peace. You will have a psychological, in your mind will be, peace will be enter into you. You will be living a peaceful life. That is taking guidance, if Allah is guiding you. That is the understanding. Then to whom Allah intends to give him guidance, he opens his chest for Islam to attain peace. You will have peace in your life. You will have peace, salam, in your personality, peace. Now the other thing, and to whom he intends to astray him, he makes his chest confined, difficult, as if he ascends in the sky. We must understand the difference. The one who is not being guided by Allah, who is astray by Allah, his chest is confined and difficult. Confined and difficult. He has made his chest is made difficult and confined. Allah explained like how it is confined and difficult for him, as if he has to ascended into the sky. That's the example. What happens when we are ascended into the sky? What happens? Can anyone tell me? Sorry? Very good. You see, when we are flying, or if you go to uphill areas, anywhere we are above the sea level, the more high you go in the sky, as you ascend into the sky, the oxygen level has been lessened. And you feel choked in as if you are something choking you. Breathlessness. So this is, this is the explanation by Allah. Is just say, as if he has ascended in the sky. As if he ascends, كَأَنَّمَا يَسَّعْدُ فِي السَّمَاءِ. So the person who feels when he is being ascended in the sky, you can feel this kind of nausea or chokedness in your breath in a plane, or if you're going up into the hilly areas, if you're living on a sea level area, and you go above sea level in a higher mountain areas, so if you're not been there first, you go, sometimes people feel nausea and choked. They feel, they don't feel, so that is the description given by Allah for the one who is not taking guidance from Allah by not following the ways, Subul as-Salam, they're not taking the ways of Islam, he is not taking the ayahs, the governing ayahs to implement in his life, so he will find his chest confined and difficult, as if he's been ascended into the sky. This is his behavior. So why Allah is telling us, the person whom he astray, his chest is difficult and confined, and he's not feeling well, as if he has been ascended into the sky. And while a person is ascended to the sky, he feels breathlessness. He feels choked. This is the description. Now in life, when you are not taking decision, when you're making judgment, you're living like this. You're not in peace. You have got all the luxuries with you. Believe me, nothing can give you peace. Nothing. Until you follow the ways of Islam, the salam, the peace, the governing ayahs. Nothing can give you this, otherwise your life is choked. Your life is difficult. Every day you move is towards difficult. That is, you are ending towards your destiny's death. And after death is your resurrection for examination. Every one day you are nearing to your life, end of life. You have to give your exams, the judgment. So because you are not practicing, you are uneasy, you are restless, you are breathless, you are continuously bothered about your life. Why? Because you are not taking decisions by first of all you don't know, then you have to know, and then after knowing you have to implement. And once you implement, you must have peace within you. That is how we must have peace. If you are not, then this is Allah explains. To whom Allah is astraying him, he makes his chest confined and difficult, as if he ascends into the sky. And we have already discussed what happens when he ascends into the sky. He feels choked. Surah Al-An'am 6 and 127 ayah. Lahum darus salam عند ربهم وهو وليهم بما كانوا يعملون. For them is a circle of Islam peace near the Lord, and he is their protector with what they do. In this ayah again, the Darus Salam, the circle of Islam, the peace, the circle among the, one is the Islam, salam, peace within you, and there is a circle, we have discussed also, circle of Islam, city, you know the city. And now if there are people who are living in peace within themselves, so they can share this peace among the society. In the society there is a circle of Islam, the peace. So Allah said, lahum, for them, Darus Salam and the Rabbihim, in the nearness of the Lord is Darus Salam. For Allah, for people, Allah is mentioning that for them the circle of Islam, the nearness of the Lord is the circle of Islam. For them, in the nearness of the Lord is the circle of Islam, the peace. This is in the nearness of the Lord. And He is their protector, and He knows what they do. So again, the same ayat, if you are following the commandments, following the governing ayahs, so for us, for them, Allah says, in the nearness of the Lord is the circle of salam, the peace. So people around us who are practicing, you will find people who will have the company of those people who are practicing the ayahs and having peace, so they can see the peace, the circle of peace are within in the society. You can see this. But people who are not following, they are restless, breathless. You can see this. So this ayat is telling us. Now, so if the circle of Islam is there, the circle of Islam is there, and the judgment of Al-Islam to attain peace is there. So Allah is telling us in Baqarah 2:208. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu dukhulu fi silmi kafa wa la tattabi'u khutuwati shaytan innahu lakum aduwwun mubin. O you who believe, enter in Islam to attain peace entirely without exception, and do not follow the footsteps of Shaitan, the evil one. Surely he is a clear enemy to you. Now Allah is telling to the believers. The ayat is addressing Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O you who believe. So people who believe means they are believing in the ayahs of Allah. They are believing. So Allah is addressing to the believers, enter into Islam to attain peace entirely. So that means there are people in the world who are following certain governing ayahs, certain, I said some or certain governing ayahs. So they are living in a peace. They are living in peace, but not completely. Not entirely. So Allah is asking to the believers that enter into Al-Islam yourself entirely, completely, without exception, totally, completely. So that means there are people in the world, they are believers. They are believers. They believe. But they are not completely practicing the ayah. They are practicing some. They are not completely practicing the ayahs to attain peace. They are not having complete peace within themselves. But they have got some peace. They may be implementing some, but not completely. So Allah is saying, O you believe, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu udkhulu fis silmi kafa. O you believe, enter into Islam entirely, without exception, completely. So there are people, that means they are not. So what is happening? Allah explains in the following portion of the ayah. وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا خُطُوَاتِ الشَّيْطَانِ إِنَّهُ لَكُمْ عَدُوٌّ مُبِينٌ. And do not follow the footsteps of Shaitan, the evil one. Surely he is a clear enemy to you. Why we are not following Al-Islam or attaining complete Islam or total peace within us? That there are times we are following the Shaitan. We are following the footsteps of the Shaitan. وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا خُطُوَاتِ الشَّيْطَانِ. The portion of the same ayah says that you must, first it says, you believe, enter into Islam completely, without exception. But again it says, وَلَا تَتَّبِعُوا خُطُوَاتِ الشَّيْطَانِ, meaning in the same verse it is telling us that there may be some portions. There is a dark side of our life, our personality, there is a dark side. And in that dark side, we are following the footsteps of the Shaitan. We are thinking that we are following completely Al-Islam. No, but there are portions of a dark side which I don't want to see, or I don't want to see myself in that dark side. I don't want to see. I think I'm right. So though that is the dark side. He doesn't want to see, and if somebody points, he doesn't want to see itself. Even the ayahs also. He understands, but he doesn't want to see himself. So that is where we are following the footsteps of the shaitan. Al-Ma'idah 5 and Ayah 3. Al-yawma ya'isa alladhina kafaru min dinikum fala takshawhum wakhshawun. Al-yawma akmaltu lakum dinakum wa atmamtu alaykum ni'mati wa raditu lakum al-islam deena. This day those who reject have given up hope from your deen judgment, from your deen the judgment. So do not fear them, but fear me. This day I have perfected your deen judgment for you and completed my favor upon you. And I am pleased for you of Islam to attain peace as a deen judgment. In this ayah, it is telling us that when you will have Al-Islam attain peace completely. When? It is telling to the people, this day, they're referring to a day in everybody's life. You must understand, we all, in the past, in the present, in the future, these ayahs remains constant. Men in the past were there, men in the present are here, and men, we will not be here today, tomorrow, the other people will come. So remember, these ayahs remain constant, they don't change. We come and go. So on that day, this day, those who reject faith, giving up all hope from your deen judgment. Meaning I or group of people who started implementing the judgments as laid down by Allah in the ayahs of Allah, the governing ayahs, as I make judgments, my judgments, on the principles of the ayahs of Allah or the governing ayahs of Allah, I take decisions, I take judgments and I implement. Suppose I'm giving an example. On that day, those who reject will give up all hope from your deen judgment. The people whom I am living around, they will interact with me, and finally they will realize that this gentleman is taking judgments on the ayahs of Allah where he himself is not taking judgments, and he is falling into maya by his own judgments on life. So he will, Allah said, those who reject have given up all hope from your deen judgment. Meaning your judgments on ayahs of Allah, you were judging on the ayahs of Allah, you were practicing on the governing ayahs of Allah. So the person whom you are living around, he will give up all hope. Now this man is changed, totally changed. He is not from among us. He's become totally different. Now he always referred to an ayah of his practices. So that person will lose all hope, will give up all hope from your deen judgment. So Allah says, so do not fear them, but fear me. So we don't have to fear them, Allah says, but fear Allah. And further, this day, that day, I have perfected your deen judgment for you and completed my favor upon you. And I am pleased for you of Islam to attain peace as a deen judgment. So whenever in the society where you live, you start practicing the ayahs or the governing ayahs, you discuss these ayahs with the other people, and the other people are not following the ayahs, so they reject. So they lose all hope of your judgment. The day the people will lose all hope from you, where you are taking decision or taking judgments from the ayahs and implementing those ayahs, so they will lose all hope from you, from your judgment. On that day, Allah says, I have perfected your judgment for you and completed my favor upon you, and I am pleased for you of Islam to attain peace, a deen of judgment. You understand this? You must understand this is very important. Okay, the day when you start practicing on the ayahs, you start sharing with these ayahs with other people, and the people who are rejectors of the ayahs will fight with you, they will argue with you. And a day comes when they will no more argue with you. They will lose all hope that this man is too much in the practice of the ayahs. In the practice of the ayahs. Not only remembering the ayahs, just I memorize the ayahs. No, you remember and implement. Remember and implement. You have to develop the character, you live in peace, you attain peace. And the more in your surroundings that people you are living and interacting, those people say, look, we are not practicing, he is practicing, we are not practicing, he is practicing. You understand this kind of behavior? He's changing his character, he's changing his life, he's implementing this kind of behavior when they will know. So they will lose all hope by not confronting you. They will, in the initial they will confront, but finally they will discover that he has changed now. He's totally changed man. That day, that is the day when these people will lose all hope from your practices, your judgments. That day, Allah said, that day I have perfected your deen judgment for you and completed my favor upon you, and I am pleased for you, Islam, to attain peace. That is the day. How will you come to know that Islam is being completed on you or you are in to attain peace? When your environment, your people that are surrounding knows that you are changed. If you are hiding yourself by not showing and discussing an ayah, that means Allah is not pleased with you. You have to establish in your environment where you live upon, among your category people, by sharing the message with them and confronting with them until they lose all hope from your judgment. That is the time when people realizes that they can't fight with you, they can't argue with you, they know that their character is not right. They know that your character is standing like a big tree. They can't argue, debate, anything, nothing, finish. So they lose all hope of your judgment. That day, Allah says, I have perfected your deen, your judgment, and completed my favor on you, and I am pleased for you to attain peace, Islam as a judgment, that you have taken the judgment. Muhammad 47 Surah and Ayah 35. فَلَا تَهِنُوا وَتَدْعُوا إِلَى السَّلْمِ وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ وَاللَّهُ مَعَكُمْ وَلَنْ يَتِرَكُمْ أَعْمَالَكُمْ. So you do not weaken and invite towards Islam to attain peace, and you are uppermost or upper class, and Allah is with you, and He will never leave off of your doings or works. In this ayat, when we have attained Islam or peace, in the previous ayat we have discussed how the Islam or peace is attained. When Allah completes the religion or the judgment on us, when it is completed on us, then in the ayahs of Allah, now here Allah is saying that you do not weaken yourself when you have attained peace by the confrontation of the people. You do not weaken yourself, but what you do, you invite people towards Islam. فَلَا تَهِنُوا وَتَدُعُوا إِلَى السَّلْمِ. So you do not weaken yourself and invite towards Islam to attain peace. Invite people to Islam. The second duty or the second step, that what we have to do is, we have to invite people towards Islam to attain peace. We have to do it. If you are reaching Islam, you are attaining Islam, you are attaining peace by following the do's and the don'ts, by the governing ayahs. So now you have to share this message of Allah to mankind. But you should not weaken yourself. By weakening yourself, do not, Allah says, do not weaken yourself, and you invite people towards Islam. And you are upper class, وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ. How you are upper class? How are you uppermost? Because if you note, people who are involved in the don'ts, like for example, people are drinking, people are gambling, people are committing adulteries, people are committing theft. Look at his life. He is already in a maya. He may be suffering from psychological and physical diseases. Believe me, I'm not saying you can find out. The hard fact is that if you find these kind of people who are involved in all the wrongdoings of which Allah has prohibited, and they are not establishing the salah, he is not governing by doing positive acts of the ayahs of Allah. So what happens? He is already in a maya. So he is not in peace. So you who are not doing, your health is good, your mind is sound. What for? Because you are living in peace. You have attained peace by implementing the moral, the do's ayahs and the don'ts ayahs. So you can see this, the difference. So Allah says you are upper class. You have got a sound personality because of following the governing ayahs. That's how. By following them, not by just reading them. By implementing in your life. So you are of upper class. وَأَنْتُمُ الْأَعْلَوْنَ. Your upper class, do not weaken. Invite to people towards Islam peace. You do not lose yourself. You must know that the difference of the people who are into Maya. It is a duty of a Muslim to save him from the fire in this world. He is in Maya and afterwards also. So you must try to share this message. So that is why Allah says you are upper class because you are following. Wallahu ma'akum, and Allah is with you. And He will never leave off your doings. Any doing that you are doing, implementing in for the cause, any act, any good gesture, or any ayat you practice, any doing, He will not leave off. He will take into account. He will take your acts into account. He will not just leave them. He will take into account your good deeds, the good works, which you are practicing, the ayahs of the don'ts and the ayahs that refers to don'ts. So that Allah says He will take into account. He will not leave off. He will count them for you and for the balance. Now, the behavior, we'll see the behavior also in Az-Zumar 39 Surah and Ayah 22. أَفَمَنْ شَرَحَ اللَّهُ صَدْرَهُ لِلْإِسْلَامِ فَهُوَ عَلَى نُورٍ مِّن رَبِّهِ فَوَيْلٌ لِلْقَاسِيَةِ قُلُوبُهُم مِّن ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ أُولَٰئِكَ فِي ضَلَالٍ مُّبِينٍ. Then to whom Allah opens his chest for Islam to attain peace, so he is on the light from his Lord. Then woe to those whose hearts have become hard from the remembrance of Allah. They are in clear estraying. In this ayah, Allah, we have already discussed in the previous ayahs that when Allah opens the chest or for the peoples towards Islam, so Allah is explaining for the people who are following the governing ayahs, when Allah says that to whom Allah opens his chest for Islam to attain peace, when he individual has decided upon that he will follow the governing ayahs, he will attain peace. So when Allah opens his chest for Islam to attain peace, you can see things, what's going on around you. So this is how Allah opens his people for Islam to attain peace, and he's on the light from his Lord. And the one who is not given the guidance from Allah, you see the behavior in the second portion of the ayah. Then woe to those whose hearts have become hard from the remembrance of Allah. They are in clear saying, فَوَيْلٌ لِلْقَاسِيَةِ قُلُوبُهُم مِّن ذِكْرِ اللَّهِ أُولَٰئِكَ فِي ضَلَالٍ مُّبِينٍ. The other portion of the ayat is very important. That people whose heart has become hard from the remembrance of Allah most gracious. This is very important. From the remembrance of Allah's ayahs, these Quranic ayahs is remembrance. You remember these ayahs. But a time comes that sometimes when you are used to it so much, you are not implementing the ayahs, your heart becomes hard. Look, qulubum min dhikrillah, from the remembrance of Allah's message, from the remembrance of Allah, instead of taking guidance, it is just remembering the ayahs, memorizing. So your hearts become hard if you don't implement. If you do not implement, your heart becomes hard. You know the ayahs. You know the ayahs, meaning you can see. But if you do not implement from the remembrance of Allah, your heart becomes hard. If you don't implement, because your heart should soften for the guidance of Allah. If you don't, then it's become hard.